So the forgotten sales strategy, spoiler alert, it's not about AI. We're going to talk about why building human first is more important than ever. So sales isn't dead, okay? The current model is broken. We're obsessed with AI, we're obsessed with automation, we want to find the next cheat code, but the challenge is we're actually facing a different problem. Instead of finding that quick fix or that next solve, we're losing the most important thing, customers' trust. We're in a trust recession. As tools continue to increase, let me go back. As tools continue to increase, we continue to lose trust. Buyers are at an all-time low in wanting to trust sellers and speak to sellers. And I really believe that we're in a time where the most human sellers are going to be the ones that win. The tools are there. They're there to help us to be more efficient, but how are you taking this data, perhaps more time, to be more effective? There is a call to bring humanity back to sales, and it's loud and clear. Even Gartner's saying by 2030, they anticipate that 75% of B2B buyers are going to prefer a human-led seller or sales process and sales strategy over AI. And the thing is, AI can help us to get access to more information more quickly, but customers don't want information. They want transformation. They want change. They want problems and pains taken away, and they can't do that without a human being involved in helping to discern, to use good judgment, and to be super curious. So now I'll tell you a story. And while I'm sharing, I did put, you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to use that QR code. I'd be happy to send you the deck at the end of this presentation. You just have to DM me TechTO or TechTO. So I'm Kirsten Schmidtke. I got a quick little intro there. I work with leaders and with sellers, primarily in B2B tech, helping them to expand their thinking, drive revenue growth, and to really learn the skill set and the human skill set that's required to win in a modern sales world. And I started my career 15 years ago in technology sales, which is hard to believe. And when I started, you got a lot of people in here, I can tell, you're ambitious, you're confident, you're ready to go, you want to win. And I was right there with you. Year one, I did everything, all the dials, closing deals, hit quota. I was happy with my team. I was happy with my territory. And it wasn't long after that I was really getting excited because I had a meeting coming up with a C-level executive. But right before that meeting, I got a call from my contact within the organization who suggested to me that it would be probably better if I dressed more conservatively for the meeting. And maybe if I decided not to wear my signature red lipstick, maybe just to tone it down a bit. And in that moment, I had a choice to really step forward and be more of myself and lead boldly, or I could just take a step back into the shadows and embrace the status quo. I think you can tell if I'm on the stage right now, you know what choice I made. And I learned in that moment that being more of myself, bringing more of myself to the table, understanding myself better and expressing myself, I was actually able to see my results transform. Later that year, I won multiple spiffs, crushed quota, won President's Club, and set myself up for a promotion. And I learned that over time, I started to see a pattern. Every time that I stepped into another version of myself and expanded who I was, success followed. And so as a result, now in my business, we teach the service-led selling system. And I'm just gonna teach it to you really quickly today. And while there is no real cheat code to success, I think that number one, I hope, is the biggest thing you take away from my talk anyway. So I'll go through all 4 steps. It starts with yourself, set, serve, and lead. So everyone thinks that mindset starts with thinking. It's just a shift in mindset and everything changes. It actually starts with you and who you're being, your identity, your state of being. If you want to change your results, you actually have to change who you are first. So we've been taught that, to have the house, win the deal, get, crush quota, then we'll be successful. Then we'll be happy. How many of you, I don't know, closed your biggest deal ever and you're still not finding that happiness, or you're still not confident? Well, that's because it actually starts with you being confident, you being successful, you being happy, because we can't do happy, we can't do success. We have to actually be it first. From there, we actually create the thinking, the doing, and then we get our results and we have the having on the outside. So think about whatever goal you have in mind this year. If it's a sales goal, maybe it's a job. Some of you are building really incredible businesses. I'm sure you all have a goal that comes to mind. Who do you need to be? What version of you do you need to be? That's how we actually shift your mindset. And so if you have a sales goal, I would offer that one of the best things you can do is start to shift into a buyer's perspective and a buyer's mindset. That's where we can start to get curious. We can listen, and listen not from a place of finding that in to like pitch our product or give our value prop, but actually really listen so we can respond from a place of service. I invite you to think about this idea of sales being service, not something we do to someone, but something we actually do for someone. That when we are in service of our clients, we are connecting to our clients, we build trust in a whole different way. We have an opportunity to expand deals beyond what we could have imagined. And then if you do your job right in the serve stage, then I invite you to lead those customers to that transformation. If we understand where it is that they want to go and we know that we're the fit to make that happen, this is where you get to tell the story of transformation, keeping the customer at the center as the hero of the story. Now, does this work? Is it faster to do it this way, or is it slower than AI? Well, I have had a series of conversations and coaching conversations with top sellers and top leaders across technology, and they have a lot to say about the key skills and insights that led them to success. And I'll tell you, these shifts in thinking, the shifts in how they connect with their team, with their clients, their customers, has been game-changing. And so I invite you, if you want to learn more about that and get that list and see how you can integrate that into your work, you can access it right there. So is there a real cheat code? Well, my ask of you today is you commit to being more human, being more of yourself, being more understanding and committing to your buyer and what they're thinking. Commit to serving, not in service of the sale, but in service of your customer. And commit to leading while keeping your customer as the center and hero of the journey. Because the real cheat code is being more human. Thank you.
Awesome. Any questions for Kirsten? Raise your hand nice and high. We'll send a mic over to you. Oh, there we go.
Hi, Kirsten. Thank you for sharing those wise words. There's a Buddhist saying that all desires leads to pain. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
All desires ease the pain?
Leads to pain.
Leads to pain. Okay, and how, I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question. And how do you see that relating to sales or being human or goals? What's the real question?
Yeah, you mentioned that at your highest highs, when you achieve all your spiffs, didn't bring happiness. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on the pursuit of happiness.
So the pursuit of happiness is an inside game. It wasn't the spiffs that led to happiness. It was me being me that led to the spiffs. And it was me being happy, me being confident, me being myself that led to the spiffs. And so my, invitation to all of you is to actually connect with who you're being first, and that will lead you to where you want to go. Yeah.
This is getting very deep. Wow. Another question back there? Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to say, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that lipstick story. That was really motivating, because if you look around the room today, you can see the disparity between how many men work in sales versus how many women. So that was really inspiring, and I thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, on that note, I am the only woman on my sales team.
Been there.
So I want to know, how did you get started? And how do you foster those connections with other women when we are such a unicorn in the industry?
How did I get started? Well, how I got started, I totally fell into tech. I graduated university and had a family friend that worked at a company called Soft Choice, and interviewed for a customer support role, and the sales leader was like, no, I think you got what it takes to sell, and had to get over my own mindset block around what selling was and if I could do that thing. But you know, it's really interesting you ask that question, because 15 years ago, we were not having that conversation. I mean, being vulnerable, telling the lipstick story, I mean, I was passed over for roles and told by my manager I wasn't given a territory because I wasn't a man. And no one was talking about it. That was okay. So, I mean, first of all, like, I'm glad that I can stand on this stage and have this conversation, and you can, some of you maybe see yourselves reflected, I hope, maybe in me. And I mean, in terms of finding more women in sales, I mean, this is a great place to start. Like, there's still women in this room, so like, that's a win right there. I know there's different communities and things, like, happy to connect with you later to connect with you and tell you where other people might be hanging out. But I think the best thing you can do, because I've been there, I've been the only woman in the room, I've been the only woman in the team. And I don't take up a lot of space, I don't know if you noticed, but really going back to understanding who I was and what I could bring to the table, owning what that was, having key people in my corner, and that I would say ultimately hiring my coach is what changed everything.